Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about amazing reasons why you want to buy a business instead of starting a business. Now, if you're just tuning in, which I'm sure most of you are, I do watch my subscriber counts or my viewer counts. So if you're new here, my name is Taylor Darcy from Think Legal, where I help you create the business of your dreams. Thank you so much for joining me. I go live Monday through Friday, except for holidays and the occasional kid sick, flu, blah, blah, stuff that happens. But for the most part, I'm here trying to help you with your business. So please tune in live so that I can answer your questions, most importantly, and that I can get you the help that you need for your business. So I'm excited to have you here. Thank you for joining me. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. So one thing that you have to know about buying a business rather than starting a business is that there are quite a few pros, but it's not perfect. I don't want you to think that by talking to you about this, that it's the best opportunity for most people. The good news is that it's within your reach as an entrepreneur. I don't want you to think that just because you may not have a ton of startup capital that you can't get started with the business, because, and I'm going to let you in on a couple of secrets later, you don't have to. Yeah, I know. It's awesome. So, the number one reason why you should buy a business, or an amazing reason to buy a business, I should say, is that you hit the ground running. You don't have to worry about a lot of the delay between starting a business and then the capital that it takes to get that business through momentum, okay? You already have the revenue. The revenue is coming in based on the previous owner. So it's really a quick way to get started. It's a whole lot quicker than starting a business. The downside is that with a startup, you get to pick everything. With buying a business, things have already been decided for you. Now, once you're owner, you can go in and do almost, and I do mean almost, anything you want to do. So it's not that you can't change things, it's just that it's going to be more challenging, because you'll get the unfortunate employee that's like, oh, that's the way we've always done things, so that's what we're going to do. And so you have to get buy-in from people that are going to be part of the business after the ending. And that's another thing you want to make sure of, is that people are going to stay. Your best source of capital when it comes to a business is people, because the talent is what makes it work. And so you really want to get their buy-in to begin with, even though you're the one with the money and you're the one going to be fronting things and so on and so forth. You really want to make sure they're the ones buying into this, because the last thing you want to do is lose that asset. I mean, like, I'm not saying employees are not people. I'm saying that they're part of what you're buying. Is that rock star sales manager, or that rock star salesperson, or that amazing accountant that's been able to do your books and keep things going and keep the flow moving, that have been doing amazing at it. And those people are the ones that are they're your biggest expense, but they're also your biggest asset. So you want to make sure that you're keeping that in mind when you're looking at businesses. It isn't just about the money or how fast you can make the money. It's also about the people. So number two, an amazing reason to buy a business is you can improve on systems and efficiencies. A lot of older businesses have been not just neglected, but it falls back into that, well, that's how we've always done things, so that's how we're always going to do things, or it worked right the first, or it worked right this way, so we're just going to keep doing it. And so, but you can improve your processes and systems so that you can reach better levels of efficiency, especially when you apply lean management to the business, which is probably something the owner hasn't heard of, or that they have, but they maybe haven't implemented it quite as well as you could. So having this, there's a lot of opportunity there. There's a lot of room for growth that you just don't get in starting a business because you're already starting very lean. So you don't have the luxury of redefining your processes with that. So that's number two. Number three, there is a ton of opportunity for growth right now in that sector because there are a ton of people that want to retire and they've worked their whole lives for that. So they deserve, rightfully so, to be compensated for the amount of time that they've worked at their business. And so that gives you an opportunity where you can do it. You can give someone their retirement that couldn't have been done just even a few years ago. The idea that they have to work until they die is such a misnomer. If you do this right, and if you're looking at building and helping this business grow, you can give the person that wants to sell the retirement that they've always dreamed of because there's a lot of money there. And two, you can, like I said, capitalize on those systems that give you the best benefit for your money that weren't existing 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 2 years ago. I mean, and especially now with COVID, companies are looking at ways to cut money, and one of them is office space. A lot of companies are downsizing and having rotating through working from home, things of that nature. And so those are all things that you can do to make your business more profitable and not have to worry about the startup issue that goes with starting a new business. So that's number three. Number four, there are lots of valuable assets that a lot of these companies have that you don't have to pay new for that won't cost you any money. That'll get included in the purchase price of the business. So you're really maximizing those. Now, in some instances, you're going to have to replace those assets and make it more friendly for people to do their jobs. But overall, the amount of money that you would have to spend replacing some stuff versus everything starting from scratch is a lot different and a lot better. So there's a lot of opportunity that you can make money without having to spend a lot of money. The next one, it's more actually affordable than you think because a small business that's been established, that's been in business for a while, qualifies for, wait for it, SBA loans, something that a lot of businesses that are starting out do not qualify for. You have to wait 2 to 3, 5 years even to get to where the SBA would even touch you with the loan. I know it's weird. Like I've said this in my other videos. It's weird that the Small Business Administration is so finicky about the loans that it allows, knowing full well they're government backed and that's number one. But number two, that they recognize that the nature of small businesses, if we give small businesses more cash, they typically are better and more likely to stay in business. Not always, but that does happen. Also, the idea that the Small Business Administration, makes the term so onerous, just isn't appealing to a lot of business owners, and so they don't apply for them. But in this instance, it makes a ton of sense because you can borrow against the business and have very little out of pocket, so 10, 20%. So you could own $1 million business for $100,000, $200,000, which isn't a lot, relatively speaking, right? And you've got that revenue already that's in place to help you build. So you don't even have to worry about paying it back because it's based upon that business. And so you can buy out a business for relatively cheap money. Now, I mean, even as little as $50,000 that you can do a lot with. So don't think that just because, starting a business, I have to do all this work to get it started and going. Yes, there is that factor. And I'm going to let you in on another secret. After the main ones, the best reason and an amazing reason to start or buy a business rather than starting a business is, and this is the best one, lower failure rate by 75%. Yes, that's right. You are more likely to be successful with a business that you buy than one that you build yourself. It's just sheer getting over that hump of 3 to 5 years is challenging for most businesses, rightfully so. There's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot. I mean, they could have a viable product or they could not have a viable product. You don't know what you don't know. And so there's a learning curve. There's lots of reasons why businesses that start fail. And it doesn't have to be that way, but that's where we are. And so there's a much lower failure rate in a already established business than there is in a business that you start. Like, insanely different. So it's definitely worth the time and energy that you spend looking for a business, saving your money to buy that business, because then you get to be your own boss without the downsides. Like, it's almost perfect. It's not completely perfect, but it's almost. It's pretty dang amazing. And then here's the other key. If you do it right, setting up your proper entity and all of these other business types of things that maybe the previous owner kind of was laxed on and not such a great idea, you can really get some efficiencies going in with your legal and your financial and your accounting and just everything that goes with it. So these are all really great, amazing reasons why you want to buy a business instead of starting a business. Starting a business is really hard. I know. I've started several with different people. Some of them, I was the advisor, and sometimes I was part of it, but businesses are challenging, and there's rightfully so, because there's so many moving pieces. You wear so many different hats. And so this gives you ideas onto why you want to purchase a business instead of doing that. If you've gotten value out of this video, don't forget to hit subscribe and like on my YouTube channel. This is being broadcast in 4 different places today. I thought I would try going from my personal page as well as my Think Legal page, my tactical startup, as well as YouTube. So I'm being broadcast all over the internet today. Don't know if we have any guests, but if you do, leave down below where you're from and any thoughts you have about buying a business, because I'd love to hear from you. And just remember that we do go live Monday through Friday, except for holidays and the occasional sniffles issue. And I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you so much. Talk to you later. Bye. Oh, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you're notified when we go live.